Hi there, today we're going to learn about how to add an overlay into our Wix Studio website. So there isn't a direct way to add a overlay into Wix Studio, but we have a workaround for it. So for example, I have this image right here and I will select it. And for example, I'll just select the image, so you can just click on the image layer so that you can be sure that you're selecting the image, and then we will click on the inspector tool, and then we can change the opacity of the image. So in order to create an overlay effect, for example, you want to change the overlay effect of your image, we'll now click on the container. So we'll just right click and then select a layer, and then we will click the container layer, and then we will open the inspector tool again. And then now if we want to add a gradient into our overlay, we can just click on the background, and then we can choose either the gradient or the fluid gradient options. For example, I will choose the gradient, and I can change the look of our gradient using the linear, or we can change into a radial option. We can also change into a conic options. For example, I'll just choose the radial option, and then I will change our color maybe into like red. So you can now see that there is like a gradient overlay over here. And then in order to make it more pop, we can also change the opacity of the gradient here. And then we can also go back into the image layer, and then we can also change the opacity to strengthen the look of our gradient overlays. For example, I'll just set it into 11, and then I will go back into our container, and then I will choose a different option, different options. For example, conic, and we can see the conic overlay. And then we can also choose the fluid gradient. So this will be the look of the fluid gradient overlay. So you can just play around with the different features that Wix Studio has in order to edit your overlay to create the overlay effect into your Wix Studio website. And I hope you learn how to do it on your own, and thank you for watching this video.